Hey folks, CB3 here with another live update. It is Tuesday, April 1st, and this is the monthly market update for March and April. March was not a month you want to remember. It was ugly, ugly, ugly. And it was about the worst month in several years. We'll get into that when we get into the show. Stay with us. CB3 Live update begins now. The S&P 500 ended the quarter down 4.5%, its worst performance in 3 years. The NASDAQ 100 posted its worst quarter in nearly 3 years, down 8.3%. That would be pretty bad for like a half a year, but this was in one quarter. Two reasons for this: warnings about the tariffs and the impact on the economy, and also data centers are not going to be built with the incredible speed which it looked like they were going to be built when Trump was elected. So making matters worse is the fact that the US dollar hasn't been behaving as normal. It continues to be fairly strong while gold is on fire, hitting lifetime highs almost every day. And we're seeing that affected in our CG portfolio, where we've added gold and silver to our benefit. Trump's trade war continues to fuel concerns that the U.S. economy could stall. Most economists still don't anticipate America will fall into a recession, and I don't either, but I do expect that the first quarter GDP will be negative. Maybe 1 to 1.25%, not a big number, but I do think it'll be negative. But when the second quarter GDP comes out in July of this year, I think you'll see that that's back to being positive and we will have escaped a recession. And there's yet another reason why the markets are behaving the way they are. The NASDAQ 100's multiple is still at a high premium to PE ratio, and that's causing people to look around and say, with all this other grief going on, I don't want to pay more for the NASDAQ and take that risk. I want to pay less. And so therefore, I'm going to sell and rebuy at lower levels. Now, I'm not saying that that's what we're saying. We have a strict money management policy. You guys know, you've been watching CB3 Live every second Thursday, and I definitely show you how that works with our money management strategy. But the bad news for Trump is this has to get corrected pretty much by the fall, or it's going to be pretty tough to keep the House and the Senate for the midterm elections in 2026. I'm still seeing signs that his approval rating, depending on the poll you look at, is between 48 and 50%, which for Donald Trump is a really good number. Americans like what they're seeing with the border finally being closed and literally a 98.2 or whatever percent it is change from when Joe Biden was in office, and the number of people illegally coming across our border. So that much he's done right. But the reality is that the market is struggling because they are seeing more progress there on the border than they are with inflation and prices coming down. Even though the price of eggs has come down and there are other major items like automobiles, which are showing some softness in pricing, overall, it is still more expensive for Americans to live now than it was a year ago. Some of that is still the Biden economy, but as each month passes, more and more of that goes on the back of Donald Trump and his policies. Now, I realize you may not feel sorry for Elon Musk, but his Tesla stock dropped 36% in quarter one. And this is the man that brought these two astronauts back from the space station when NASA couldn't do it. Now, even if you're not a huge fan of what Elon Musk is doing, Tesla stock was hit by 36% in the first quarter as people stopped buying his cars, as well as firebombing of his cars on various lots around the country. So it has been a tough time to be Elon Musk for what he's doing with Doge and trying to cut back on the expenses of this government. If you listen to what Elon Musk said when he was interviewed by Bret Baier of Fox News, he said, look, we're just trying to get a $1 trillion reduction in the deficit. We're not even touching the debt. You've got to get the deficit down to zero so that it doesn't add to the debt every single year. So we're living in a very volatile time right now, and the market is skittish. Am I long-term concerned about it? I am not. For instance, last Friday, when the market was down 2%, our GI program, which is our conservative program, was up 11 basis points, or about 0.1%, which is a 210 basis point increase over how the S&P 500 performed. Today, Monday the 31st, when I'm recording this podcast for tomorrow, CORT is the ticker symbol, was up 86% in CG. So CG was up 3.5% when the market was flat. Now the market was way down earlier in the day and then it closed stronger, which for me is a sign that we might be getting near, I don't know that we're quite there yet, but we are getting near to exhaustion selling. So you guys just got to hang with me on this, okay? And I know you will. Keep listening to these podcasts because I'm going to keep giving you upbeat information. So what is up ahead this week as we enter April? Well, first of all, April Fool's Day is today. Don't play any jokes on anybody because it may come back and haunt you. Today, April 1st, ISM Manufacturing. Wednesday, tomorrow, all eyes will be on the Trump's tariff announcements and do they actually go into place and what the percentages are and how many countries are involved. I expect Wednesday to be unbelievably volatile in the stock market, but especially in the currencies. And then Thursday, April 3rd, initial job claims, and Friday, all kinds of data, non-farm payrolls. Of course, it's the monthly payroll report, and you can just watch for that unbelievable volatility that will be a result of all the uncertainty I've been telling you about. I do want to let you know we watch this every single hour. I have worked harder since Donald Trump came back into office than I can remember any time during the Biden years because there just wasn't that much happening. I'm not criticizing the man. I'm just saying he was not a rabble-rouser in the same way that Donald Trump is when it comes to economic policy that affects America and ultimately the world. So that's where it is. We are moving into the second quarter now. We're moving into the month of April. Spring is here. And it's an exciting time. I think we still have the best up ahead of us for the U.S. market. And I want to be part of that with you. You guys, if you have questions, CB3@CB3.com. I will see you the next time on CB3 Live Update. And this coming Thursday, that's a week from Thursday, April 10 will be the April edition of CB3 Live, the monthly show, and I will see you for that as well.